So right here you can see that my server is running, and in the previous module we had discussed how we can deploy our entire server to production. So in this video we'll be doing something interesting. This is our module number 4, and we will be connecting our backend to a database. Now to connect our backend to database, I'm gonna use something called MongoDB. Now MongoDB is very much different from a SQL database. If you want to use SQL database, there is no issue as well. So let us go to whiteboard, a blank board. Okay, so I am opening here. I'll be telling you what's the basic difference between this MongoDB and SQL first. Okay, so here I will stay on this file only. Okay, and just go a bit up, right? So here what happens is that in wait a second. Fine. So what happens here is that one side, let us say we have SQL. Okay. So let us understand the structure of SQL first. What is SQL, or what is an SQL database basically? SQL database. We'll first understand about SQL database. So it's the most crucial part. So watch it carefully. Right. So here is our SQL database. Now what happens is SQL database is that you have two things. Okay, we have two things here. So let me draw arrows. Okay, let me draw arrows from here. So we have two things. So first thing that we have is a database. A database. Okay, we have a database, and wait a second. Yeah. So first thing we have a database. You copy paste it here, and yeah. So wait a second. Okay. So we have these two things. First thing is something called database, and second thing is something we'll call tables. Okay. Tables or relations, whatever we need. So this is an SQL database. Okay. This is an SQL database, and it contains two things, that one is a database, another one is relation. So let us say for our database is something like this. We have a user database. So let us say the database name is user. Okay. Not user actually. The database name is, let us say, secure X. Okay. We have a database that is named as secure X, and inside that database we have a couple of tables. Okay. We have a couple of tables. Mainly we'll have two tables. Okay. So first is the users table. Users table. Okay. Users table, and then we will have a profile table for the user. Okay, so we will have a profile table for the user. Wait a second. Yeah, so we have two primary tables. One is the users table, and another one is a profile table. Okay, so in users table, we have a lot of columns, and we have a table. Okay, so this is the users table. So if I'll describe the users table, okay, if I'll describe the users table right here. So if I will describe the users table, we'll have mainly 3 to 4 columns or 5, 6 columns. Okay, but primarily we have this 4 columns. Okay, we may have this 4 columns. Now these are 4 columns. Now let me also draw another shape right here. Okay, fine. So this is our table header, and here we have something. Okay. So first of all we have the ID. Okay. First of all we have the ID. Then we have the username. Okay. Username. Then we have the password field, and then we have another field that is profile ID. Okay. So let us say we have this four columns, or instead of profile ID, I can write here created. Okay, so this is the users table. Okay, I'll copy this and paste it here. So this is our users table. Fine. This is our users table. Now what happens in MongoDB is that you don't have this kind of tables. You don't have this kind of tabular structures actually. So what you have is in MongoDB, this is about SQL, but in MongoDB, what you have is a schema. In MongoDB, you have schema. Now this table is also a schema, but here the structure of documents is something different. Okay, so let us talk about that. And here I will align my text to left side. Okay, so left side, and here we have a couple of things, a couple of fields. First one is ID. Let me make this large. Okay, so actually, I have zoomed out a bit, so I think it is displaying small. Okay, so here we have the field ID, okay, which may be one integer or it may be a string or okay. So primarily we have these two types for the ID field, okay, or ID attribute, whatever you can say for the user. Okay, then we have a username field. Then we have one username field which is string and unique. Okay, string and unique. Then we have a password field which is a string field and it is hashed. So we have to store a hashed password. I'll be telling you more about hashing. Okay. Then we have a created field which is of type date type. Okay, date type. But in SQL you don't have the right. You have the date type. You have timestamp. Okay, in many formats are there in SQL. So this is how MongoDB document should look like, and it's the basic definition, or you can say schema of a MongoDB document. Now, apart from this, we may have also many fields. We may have many fields as well, but as I'm mapping to the MongoDB from the SQL, so it should be clear to you. Wait a second. Yeah. So here you can see that this is the SQL table. This is how an SQL table will look like, and this is how a MongoDB schema will look like. So I'll just copy and paste it here. Okay. And yeah. So user schema, and it's a NoSQL. Now, what is the advantage in some cases is that NoSQL is actually storing data in form of JSON. If you don't know what a JSON is, let me say this point, and I'll be not discussing anymore about this. So what is JSON? JSON is JavaScript object notation. Okay, JavaScript object notation is a lightweight text-based and language-independent data interchange format. But MongoDB uses the BSON format, or you can say, what is BSON? BSON is binary encoded serialization format used by primarily MongoDB for data storage and network transfer. Okay, so you can see the key characteristics and BSON versus JSON. Then we have format binary. Then we have this JSON text readability not human readable. Now on the top surface, actually, whenever you see a document from MongoDB, it looks like a JSON. But how actually MongoDB stores is in the binary format. Okay. Then we have generally compact text heavy. Then we have some data types like date, object ID, etc. But here in JSON we have string, number. Okay, so we have limited number of data types. Parsing speed, it is very fast and it is slower. Okay, but in some cases, actually SQL is faster than MongoDB. And if you're creating e-commerce like websites, then you should use SQL databases. Okay, I'll be discussing about that later on in some other video. But let us focus on the main motive. So first of all, I'll go to MongoDB. Okay, MongoDB official website, And after going to MongoDB official website, okay, uh, let us see what happens here. Yeah, so we have to go under this product section, and here you can see we have a community edition under the self-managed category. So we have to click on this community edition, and you have to install community edition right here. You have to click on download for free. Download free, actually the community edition is absolutely free. Now you can click on this download and it will download. But let me tell you that I have already uploaded a 1.5 hours of crash course on MongoDB, in which I have already told you how we can use MongoDB Compass. I think I have already also told in that video like how to use MongoDB Atlas. MongoDB Atlas is nothing but MongoDB on cloud. Okay, and whenever we'll be pushing any changes to our master branch, what we have to do is we have to set the environment variables here for our MongoDB Atlas database. I'll be telling you how to connect to MongoDB Atlas. Okay, let me close that first. Now, after downloading, if you open your MongoDB Compass, now note that sometimes what happens is this GUI that is named as MongoDB Compass. Now, what is this MongoDB Compass? It actually works as an interface between the MongoDB server that is running on your computer and you. Okay, so it will act as a GUI. Now, here you can see it's giving a three connections. Actually, apart from this connection, my local host, those three are connecting to Atlas database. So I'm not gonna show you what is inside that. So, but I will click on connect here. So if I click on connect, you can see it's showing me all the databases that are available. Now, if you open, I think we have a MongoDB shell as well. Okay, I'll be demonstrating you that in other videos, but I think I have already told you in this video. If you check that out, if I've not told you, I will check that. If I've not told you, I will tell you how to use MongoDB shell as well. So here you have to download MongoDB community server, right? And I was telling that sometime what happens is the MongoDB Compass is not installed directly from the MongoDB Community Edition installer. So what you have to do is go to products, go to tools section, and you have this Compass. Click on this and just directly download Compass. And yeah, let me tell you one thing, a pro tip for Windows users. What you have to do is you have to press Windows plus R to open this run dialog and type something like this services.msc. Click on OK. Now don't get overwhelmed with what I have opened here. Just go down and search for something starting with MO. Right here we have this. Yeah, here we have MongoDB server, and here it's running as a network service, and that will be a default option. So I have to don't change that. And here startup type is automatic, which means upon logon it will just start automatically, right? And sometimes what happens is due to some malfunctioning or some errors, what happens is that the status becomes stopped, means it stopped automatically. So what you have to do is you have to press Windows plus R, go to services.msc, see if it stopped. Then you will know that whether it is stopped or not, because you may not be able to connect through a MongoDB Compass or your backend servers. So you will see that it will be stopped. You have to just click on right click. You have to do a right click and click on the start. Now it's running, so I don't have to click on stop. Now if I click on stop, let us say I'm stopping this MongoDB server. Okay, and then I'm trying to connect to. Let us say I'm disconnecting. I'm disconnecting. Click on connect, and you can see that here is an error that connection refused. So what I have to do? Here it is stopped, so I have to click on do a right click and click on start. Okay, now yeah, so wait a second. Okay, so right here it's running, so let me close this. Fine, let me close this. So now if I click on connect, it will connect to my localhost instance. Now for connecting our database for connecting our backend to the MongoDB database, I'll be using a package called Mongoose. Okay, Mongoose, and it may show you a Mongoose animal, but yeah, here is the mongoose.com, and here is the Mongoose module by npm JS. So if you go here and see, it has around 4 million weekly downloads. Okay, now if you'll click on this, it will show the range from 426, 125 till this. Okay, let me, yeah. So here we have I don't know what's going on. Okay, so we have 4 million downloads right here. So I'll not concentrate on that. Rather, I'll copy this command here. npm I mongoose. Click on this copy. Okay, copy it to clipboard. And I will go to my backend and press Ctrl Shift backtick. Let me show you. Toggle screencast mode and Ctrl Shift backtick. Okay, wait a second. I think I need to configure this. Screencast mode. Okay, so font size is very large. Wait a second. Wait a second. Okay, so here I'll press settings and I'll type a screencast mode so that I can show you my screen's keystrokes. Okay, so I have reduced it to this, and then vertical offset should be 0. Fine. And yeah, so I'll show you now what will happen if I press Control Shift. Okay, Control Shift and backtick. You can see the keystroke. So if I press Control Shift and backtick, it will open this. Now in Mac OS, you have command instead of control. CTRL, you have command key. So you have to press command key and backtick, I think. And here, what I will do is, I will just go ahead and enter uh, do a control V. Now control V will paste the command and hit enter. Now let me tell you that if you have multiple things to copy, you have to turn on this thing. I have pressed Windows plus V. If you'll see Windows plus V, and here I have a multiple things copied to my clipboard. Okay, multiple things copied to my clipboard. Now, if I'll copy to your clipboard multiple times, you have to turn on this Windows clipboard so that you can track your clipboard history. So I have installed Mongoose. Now here, I have to create a folder. Wait a second, actually that is a remnant. Okay, right here, what I will do is I will create a src folder. Inside that, I'll have a lib folder, and inside that, I will have a file named db.js. db.js. Now inside this db.js, I'll be connecting my application to MongoDB. So here, one best practice is that you have to create a .env file. Okay, .env file and MongoDB underscore URI. I'll define the MongoDB URI. Now let me show you step by step how to copy the connection string because I just remembered this string at that. So you have to click on this three dots and click on this copy connection string. So after copying the connection string, you can paste it here, and after the slash specify your database name securex and then yt. Sorry. So why did I create this src folder here? In most of the production ready backend code or production grade backend code, you will find something called an src folder in which all the main code lies, all the server code, all the logics, business logics, and everything. So we have a lib folder, and inside this lib folder, we essentially have all the configurations, like some functionalities or anything else would be dumping that to lib folder. Okay, so we have a db.js. Now inside this, I'll go ahead, import mongoose from mongoose, and then I can type here export const connect db is equal to let me do it like this async async. And why did I write async? I'll be telling you shortly. Now await mongoose.connect, mongoose.connect. And here I will tell you one thing. Why did I do it async? I did it async here because when we are now using local instance, so we don't need the async. But when we'll go to production, our database location may be different. It may be nearby to a location, but it is different. So what will happen is it will take some time to connect to a database. And actually, if we'll see the type of this mongoose.connect. Okay, if I see the type of this, why did I use await here? You can see that it's returning a promise. So in order to get the connection that is of type mongoose.connection, I have to use this await keyword. Okay, I have to use this await keyword. Now after that only, I can get this connection. Const connection equals to await mongoose.connect. Now if I'll check the type, connection type is type of mongoose. You don't need to worry about types. Now let me tell you one bonus step that instead of writing a directly process.env.mongodb URI, I will suggest you should create a constants.js file inside your src directory. Now after creating constants.js file inside your root directory inside the src folder, okay, you would write here const mongodb underscore URI, okay, underscore URI is equal to process.env dot mongodb underscore URI. Save this. And after saving this, I'll write an export const mongodb underscore URI. Now after writing this, what it does is whenever we will change our environment variable name, let us say in future we may change this to mongodb URL or mongodb production URI, prod URI, we have to just change here, only here. We have to, we don't have to change this named export. Just here, we have to write mongodb underscore prod underscore URL. Okay, and this will stay constant. So that's why I created this constant.js because we may tend to change the name. If I use this variable inside multiple files, inside 3 to 4 files, then I have to go to 3 to 4 files and change the variable name. Now I may also miss some variables or some files wherever I'm changing the variables. So I may miss them and my server will crash down. So I have to create this constants.js. You may also not create, it's your wish. But right here, I'll just write MongoDB underscore URI. Now here, what I will do is I'll write here if not of MongoDB underscore URI. Okay, if not of MongoDB underscore URI, what I'll do is I'll write here throw new error. Now I'm using the error class in JavaScript. Okay, so I'll provide the message. What is the message? Error. Uh, Please provide MongoDB URI. Please provide MongoDB URI. Now, even if you don't do this, there is no issue. Okay, there is no issue because it's by default thrown by MongoDB. So what we can do is we can enclose or wrap this connection inside a try catch block. Now let me tell you another thing that I'm going to use an extra variable that is named as node underscore en. So it is initially development. Okay, it's initially development. Now I will paste this inside constants, control shift alt down arrow, shift alt down arrow. I'm holding Alt and then pressing multiple to have multiple cursors. Okay. Now here we have node env. Now I will write a node underscore env. Okay. Node underscore env. So I'll write here if node underscore env. So I'll just do one thing. I'll just console log connected to MongoDB. Okay. MongoDB. and I can write two exclamations, provide a host. And how do I get the MongoDB connection host? I'll write a connection dot connections. So here it's an array, so I'll get the first connection and write a dot host. So what this will do, it will just log this message that we have connected whenever we are inside a production, we are not inside a production environment. So I'll write here not equals to production. Okay. So if I'm not inside a production environment, now you can see that whenever I'm pressing Control S and I have turned on format on save, I have showed you in the first or second video, format on save. Now it is formatting upon save only. Now here what I will do, I will just go ahead and write here throw error, or I can just write it through what I can write. Okay, so I'll just write it throw error. There is no issue. Throw error. And now here inside server.js, I'll import connectDB function. And here inside ES modules, you have to also provide the file extension. Now you understood why did I import this at the top of the server.js file? Because under that we have this function, we have this port variable which are using the environment variables. So I have to write this at the top so that all the sub modules or sub functions, anything else, can use the environment variables without causing any errors or without crashing out the server. Now you can see that it's showing me module not found. That is the constants. Let me just remove the sticky store. And here you can see it's telling me cannot find constants. Okay, so right here, actually I have to write on dot constants.js. Okay, here it is constants.js. And I can see auth backend listening on port 8080. I think I saved this. It's not watching. Why it's not watching the .env file? I think I have to restart. So right here I have restarted my server and let me see what's happening. That if it's not equal to production, I have written that if it's not equals to production, uh, what's happening here? Why it's not logging inside the console? Node underscore env not equals to production, and here we have inside constant node underscore env. Yeah. Uh, Let me check what's the issue. It should be giving me. Okay. So there is no issue actually. I have actually not yet connected to my database. I am not calling this connectDB function. Now what I will do is here I'll write connectDB dot. I will make this a connection and it returns a promise. It doesn't return anything, but the return type is promise void actually. So as it is a promise, I have to use then. Okay, then. And what I am doing here, I will be telling you shortly. Just let me write the full code. Okay, and dot catch. We have a dot catch and error. So I will have log and error. What is the error? I will just write here a backtick and give a backtick here. And I will write here error dot message. Error dot message. If it's not there, I'll just write something went wrong. If I'm not getting any message, okay, something went wrong. And here, what I will do is I'll write here process dot exit. Well, now it will stop the server or whatever it will happen. Now you can see what I have done is here, I have told it that first try to connect to the database. Now after the first try, if it fails, then the server will not run. That is a basic thing that you can understand. So here dot then means after the connection is successful. So we are getting the message in the console. Now after you get this message, that means the connection is successful. Then you should listen to the server. Not that first you are listening to server, then you are connected. Now if the connection fails after listening to server, what could happen is you may not be able to insert documents into a database properly. So here I have written connecting. Then we have a catch. That means whenever there is an error, you can show that error.message, or else you can write here something went wrong. Okay, now let us say I am changing the variable and save this, and yeah, so you will see that it will cause error. Actually, it's not causing error. Uh, Yeah, so here you can see that it's giving me error, invalid scheme, expected connection string to start with MongoDB or MongoDB plus SRV. Now if I press Ctrl Z and save it, you can see my backend is starting automatically with the changes in .env file. So here you can see now it is connecting to the database. And here one plus point is that without a successful connection to our database, it's not going to proceed and watch the server or listen to the server. Now, as we have created a connection to our database, in the previous module, I had told you that we'll be creating user modules. Okay, but actually I forgot that we have not yet created the database connection. So this is the end of the module number 4. And in the next module, what we will be doing is we'll be creating the user module and user model actually. And if possible, we'll be also creating the profile model for the user. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in the next module.